recycled rainwater on the roof. But you know, the roof of a tall building is relatively negligible. It's the facade of a tall building which is important. And here's the thing, you know, rainwater doesn't fall down vertically. It's driven by wind, especially at height. So it's rare that it falls down vertically. So if you want to collect the water, chances are it's about collecting it off the facade and off the roof. So that's what this scheme was doing. It was looking to bring in the rainwater off the facade. And so it made interventions. For example, it positioned itself perpendicular to the predominant wind direction, because that was the thing it was exploring, to maximise rainwater, because water is a big issue. And then the way that it used the rainwater in the gardens and various other things. Okay, I like this. Office, residential, hotel. I just described 99% of tall buildings. Literally. Those are some combination of them. Why is that? And what I'm passionate about is creating cities where we bring the whole city up into the sky. And we've got to challenge the uses in tall buildings. So this was a sports town. It was actually a very sensible office town, but it also incorporated sports. And you've got to bear with me on this, because you may think this is completely crazy, but there's a sensible idea. This solar shade on the south facade, which is shielding the office space behind from excessive solar glare, is a national centre of excellence for rock climbing. Which means that people would be able to use this building in the same way that Alain Robert, who is the French Spider-Man, uses tall buildings around the world to climb. And that might seem a crazy idea, sat in your office and climbing past. Is it actually a crazy idea in sustainability terms? Because if we didn't use it here, that means someone else has got to create a national centre for rock climbing excellence somewhere else in the city, presuming that not everyone can get out to the countryside to climb buildings, to climb mountains. And this is for me, an important idea behind this, and it's what we need to start doing is doing one thing and making them count for 6 things. You know, stop seeing elements of buildings and materials as just doing one function, as just being a solar balloon. I'm involved in a research project which is looking to harness wind energy from vibrations on external solar light in tall buildings. Vibrations. There's a nightclub in Amsterdam where they harness the energy from people dancing on the dance floor. This isn't a project, it's built. They do it. We've got to start looking at how to intensify use of materials, expenditure of carbon in any way we can. Vertical farms. This was a vertical farm in London we did over an existing building. Not a crazy idea at all. It's crazy importing agriculture from thousands of miles from all around the country, all around the world. We need to start intensifying agricultural produce in cities. And we took this a stage further, I'm almost done now, we took this a stage further in Chicago by suggesting that we link up all the mayor Daley's green routes. So they're kind of great at the moment. What happened if we linked them up and started intensifying for crop production? Putting sheep and cows up there for 6 months of the year. Okay, alright. Yeah, is it a crazy idea? Probably, but you know, is it actually that crazy? So that's what this scheme was. And the final thing I do want to say in the last few slides is sky bridges and connections between tall buildings are not a crazy idea. What is crazy is that we're creating ever taller, ever denser cities, and the ground floor pavement is the only plane of physical connection. That's bloody crazy. We need to start bringing the city up into the sky. And when I say city, I mean the sidewalks, the social spaces, the parks, the doctor's surgeries, the schools, not at the expense of the ground floor, but if you put 10 times more people on the same area of land, then you need those facilities up in the sky. And in doing that, we might start to break down some of the architectural egos as well, when these buildings become an element in the urban fabric, vertical urban fabric, rather than just a chance sculpturism or something like that. By the way, Petronas Towers, which has a sky bridge, that's fire rated, and it was able to omit 1 fire stair from each of those 2 buildings. 1 fire stair times 42 floors times 2 towers is a shitload of money. It's a lot of money that they saved by taking this. So there's lots of other advantages to sky bridges. We've done in film, lots of sky bridges around the world, some of them absolutely horrific. Interestingly, the plans to replace the Freedom Tower, 5 of the last 7 designs included connection between the towers at some stage. And then they went and chose the down Leaveskin one. This project, which Helmut's been involved in, won our Best Tall Building Award this year. This, I think, goes further. It's not particularly tall, but this goes further than any project I know of at the moment in terms of creating true mixed-use communities. There are 7 towers here linked by bridges, and there are about 15 different functions within this community. Now, if we could take this and take that up to the 30th, 40th, 50th and beyond level, I think we'd be getting somewhere. And the final project, this is a project we did in Mumbai this year, which looked to create this vertical community in the sky. I'm not going to talk because someone's going to tell me I've gone over, and I don't want to go because I promised not to. But where one of the towers was, they were all sensible towers, but they all had this additional element. One was schools, one was agriculture. Made of local materials. And this scene was fantastic. Because this was inspired by what's called the Adobe Ghats in Mumbai, which are basically big areas in the city that are used for cleaning clothes. So again, you've got to sweep the city. Don't wipe it away, sweep it up into the sky. So this building had areas for cleaning clothes which actually became solar shade within the building as well. Crazy idea? Probably. Don't write these down, email me if you want to see, but these are my 7 principles for designing better tall buildings. And who the hell am I anyway? But we need to vary them with height. They shouldn't be just vertical extrusions of the floor plan. We need to start thinking about them as many small buildings placed together rather than one big object. That doesn't mean without harmony, but we put so much care into a 3-4-story building that we don't seem to put into a 60-story building. We need to treat each horizon differently. New functions need to be introduced. Communal open recreation space is vital, and it's not happening in virtually any tall buildings on a significant level. More opacity, less all glass. Glass is important for natural daylighting, but not all glass. Organic matter, and more connection. And this shows why tall buildings are important, not just because they increase supply density, but that is a testing rig for one little structural element on the Swiss Re building in London. Why could they afford to do that? Because that structural connection is going to be repeated 2,000 times in the building. And tall buildings have a professional, economic and other investment in them that allows them to lead the way for the benefit of all architecture. If you're interested in any of that work, there's the website where you can find more. Thank you.